Hi Anjana, welcome to One World News. We are very glad to have you on One World News, and it's really an opportunity for us. First of all, many congratulations to you for your book, What's Your Story? And it's an amazing book. I have ordered mine and I've read a few chapters, and I'm really enjoying the process of reading this book. So, my first question to you is also about the book. So, take us through the process of writing this book. From where did the idea germinate to how did you end up writing it?
Okay, thank you so much for having me on your show. So I think the book idea was started a while back, more than a year and a half ago, and two of my co-authors were toying with the idea of writing about what are the basic elements of telling a story. And after they'd written a few chapters, they got in touch with me and they said, the book needs something more, maybe. What do you think? And I said, well, it should really be about everything about communication, right? And getting heard, because it is such a cluttered and huge market, and everyone is struggling to get heard in this noise and this din. There is social media, there is traditional media, there's advertising, and the digital age, we're just pounded day in and day out with messages from millions and gazillions of sources. So we then brainstormed and we decided, okay, let's come up with a book that serves a purpose, a bigger purpose, which is how do you tell stories well if you're a business and a company. And the reason we chose business storytelling is because we've all been business journalists, and we now, in our post-journalism role, work with companies and organizations, and we help them tell stories better. So this for us was a natural way to take the book forward.
Great. So, since you talked about the co-writers, so I would like to know from you more about the co-writers. How did you people end up collaborating? How do you know the co-writers? So, take us through that process.
So, I think all three of us were really quite lucky because we've all worked together in Bloomberg in Europe. And so at the same point in time, which was actually, more than a decade ago. But because we worked together and because we were all trained in, a basic storytelling in Bloomberg, which if you look at what the demands of the job were, you had to be really accurate, you had to be really quick, you had to be very good with facts, and you had to tell the story in a compelling way to people with a real, I would say short attention span, and also people who are highly impatient because we were serving the financial community, traders, brokers, fund managers at the other end. So they want their information fast, they want it snappy, they want it well, and you can't afford to make any mistakes. You've got to be really great with deadlines. And those are the skills we picked up, which are, skills we share. We also had a somewhat common style of writing between us, which was from our Bloomberg days, because there was a style guide that we would all follow as reporters. And because we had worked with each other and we'd collaborated with each other in a very live newsroom, which is far more demanding, than writing a book, it was an easy process for us to come together and say, hey, let's take all the experience we've had over the years in different markets, in different countries, and put it together in a book.
So you have mentioned that you people were journalists before that, and you have a really long journey of being a journalist. You have worked with some of the most esteemed organizations in India or globally as well, be it Economic Times or be it Mint. So how has this transition been from being a business journalist to now being a content strategist?
So I think it's been an easy transition for the simple reason that when you're a business journalist and you've worked in multiple markets, the journalism gives you the opportunity to interact. Business journalism gives you the opportunity to interact with the leadership in companies. And at a very young age, you're exposed to CXO level people, CEO of a company, chairperson of a company. You're exposed to their way of thinking, in the way they tackle answers. You've always got to be on top of the game. You've got to always be prepared. You've always got to think and anticipate what are they going to say and what's going to be my counter answer. So I think it sort of prepares you really well in a way that a lot of other professions may or may not prepare you early on. And so having had that exposure, having worked in multiple markets, having helped set up a newspaper, in which you have to really, for the paper to succeed, you have to know your audience really well. You have to know what they like, what they'll consume, and what format will they consume it. So all of that made the transition for me personally quite easy, because what content strategy really is knowing your audience, knowing your content and your message, and then figuring out what's the best medium and how should you convey that message. So the work and the previous experience that I had as a business journalist, I think sort of it was the groundwork for this. In some ways, it was a natural progression.
I talk about the target audience of the book. So who do you think is actually the target audience of the book, and what are the other takeaways from the book? Because considering someone like me, who is a young person, who is, I felt like I've read a few pages only right now, but I'm feeling like it's a revision of my, of all the things that I learned during my journalism schooling. So it felt like that, but the information in it is so updated. It's like everything in collaboration with the present context, considering the digital market. It's like some things are there about the SEO writing and how to write in the digital spaces. So what are the major takeaways from the book?
Okay, so you mean that the information is really contemporary?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very relevant and contemporary, right? So yes, and that is by design. If you were to ask me who is the book for, what we've realized, and when we wrote the book, we had one goal in mind, that this book is for anyone who wants to get heard. Because like I said, there is so much of noise out there, right? People are scrambling, trying everything. Someone wants to be on social media, someone wants to be on LinkedIn, someone says no, the web, someone says traditional advertising, traditional newspapers. So it is really quite confusing for someone who wants to communicate, and they're swamped. They don't know how do you communicate better, because there is a method to that.
Yeah.
What are the channels you should choose for your storytelling or to convey that message? And the book addresses that. And it also tells you how to, meld the first two parts together. First, the book takes you through the basics of communication. What is good versus bad communication? How can you improve and build your communication skills and make it fabulous? Second, what is the right channel for you? How do you choose that channel? And the third thing is, how do you bring the learnings of the first two sections together and actually start delivering your message? And what's unique in this book is that at the end of each chapter, we have exercises.
Yeah.
There's some things that we've done deliberately, right? We've written it in a really breezy, simple style. And that's the feedback we've got throughout from anyone who's read the book. They tell you, we just love the way it's written. It's so easy to understand. We've put in a lot of examples. We've put in examples which are universal examples, which are global examples. Yeah. We've put in local examples. We've told you, what are the wins and what are the fails. And then we've given exercises at the end of each chapter, so that the reader or the audience, our audience, is able to say, okay, have I really understood what they're trying to tell me? And how can I test it out? So I would say the book is for anyone. It doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you are, like yourself, a journalist, whether you're someone who's an individual who wants to start a podcast, whether you're someone who's really mid and senior level and wants to know what is the future and how do I make sure that, my team is able to manage their communications in such a way that they are future ready and we are future proof as a company. So it's for anyone who wants to communicate better and effectively.
Great, and it sounds really interesting to know about this book. And since you have mentioned this already, that the book is written in such a simplistic manner, this is something that I also felt, because every time you're not able to understand anything, there is an example to explain that thing to you. An example from some of the most esteemed organizations. Headlines from BBC are given to explain you storytelling, explain you the process of writing headlines. And yeah, it's really very informational, and at the same time it's interesting to read this book. It's like getting knowledge in the simplest form possible. So yeah, thank you so much for writing such an interesting book. Also, so my last question to you would be that what are the major challenges at present, considering the business storytelling process? What are the things that you feel that people are not doing rightly, considering the storytelling that they are doing for their particular businesses?
Okay, so I think we don't normally say that people are doing things really badly, or they're doing things in a way that isn't right, because everyone is struggling and trying to find the best fit. Storytelling itself is evolving so much that you have to constantly learn, you have to constantly reskill yourself, and the book teaches you how to get the basics right. Once you get your basics right, it's easy for you to build on the basics and actually flow with the changes, which may not happen in other places. So I think, or in other mediums. So I think that's what the primary aim of the book is, to help you scale that mountain, so to speak. And what brands don't some brands probably don't see, multiple forms of storytelling as useful. Traditional brands, for example, older traditional brands tend to still think that the way they communicate should be through advertising. One sort of size fits all kind of advertising. And what I think the nimbler brands are doing is that they're going hyper-local. They're finding local influencers, they're going hyper-local, they're doing their messages more locally, they're making it very relevant. So they're giving it out as micro bits of storytelling and information. And to an extent, that is the shift probably that is waiting to happen in business storytelling, where brands understand that storytelling is what is taking over a lot of the communication.
Press the bell icon to never miss a video from One World News.